The baby monitor was still glowing blue when he said it. I don't like your tone. Get on your knees and ask for grocery money properly. For a second, I honestly thought he was joking. Then he smirked. My name is Mallory Hayes, and that was the exact moment something inside my marriage went permanently quiet. I was sitting on the couch, still in the oversized nursing hoodie I'd slept in, our 3-month-old finally down after 2 hours of cluster feeding. The house smelled like formula, laundry detergent, and the reheated pasta I hadn't finished earlier. I'm serious, Daniel said, leaning against the kitchen counter, wallet still in his hand from work. If you're going to ask me for money, at least show some respect.
My ears rang.
Not from yelling.
From how normal his voice sounded.
Daniel, I said slowly, I'm asking for grocery money. For your son. For us. He shrugged. And I earn it. That one sentence hit harder than the first. Before maternity leave, I made slightly more than him.
We used to joke about it.
Used to. I left work to have our baby, I said. My voice sounded smaller than I wanted. You chose that, he said instantly. Plenty of women go back after 6 weeks. Something hot flashed through my chest. Anger, humiliation, exhaustion. All mixed together. I should have walked away. I should have stayed calm. Instead, I laughed. One sharp, ugly sound. And I said, if I get on my knees, it won't be for money. His smile disappeared. And that was the moment I knew. I had just made this situation worse. Daniel's face hardened in a way I'd only seen once before, when his car got repossessed years ago, and he blamed the bank instead of his missed payments. Excuse me, he said quietly. The baby shifted in the bassinet behind me, making that soft newborn snorting sound. My whole body tensed, waiting to see if he'd wake up. I didn't mean I started then stopped. Because I did mean it. Maybe not the tone. But the truth behind it?
Yes.
Daniel pushed off the counter and walked closer. Not fast. Not aggressive. Just controlled. That's the problem with you being home all day, he said. You forget who keeps this place running. My stomach dropped. I keep this place running, I said. I haven't slept more than 3 hours straight in months. I pump, I clean, I cook when I can. And I pay for it, he cut in. The words landed between us like something heavy and permanent. Before the baby, we had one account, one budget, one life. Or, at least I thought we did. Around month 7 of my pregnancy, he started separating things. Just easier for tracking, he said. I was too tired and swollen, and focused on not throwing up at work to fight it. Now I saw it for what it was. Distance. Control. Insurance. Fine, I said quietly. Then I'll track too. He frowned. What does that mean? Nothing, I said. Just nothing. But later that night, while he slept, I opened my old laptop and logged into accounts I hadn't checked in months. And what I found there made my chest go completely cold. The savings account I thought still had around $12,000 and it showed $1,843.27. At first, I assumed I logged into the wrong account. I refreshed the page. Logged out. Logged back in. Same number. My hands started shaking so badly, I had to set the laptop on the bed. Transaction history. I clicked it. Transfer. 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 Small amounts at first. 300. 500. Then bigger. 2,000. 4,000. All moved over the last 5 months. All moved to an account ending in numbers I didn't recognize. My chest felt tight. Not panic. Not yet. Just pressure. I scrolled slower, looking for something that made sense. A bill. A joint purchase. Anything. Nothing. Just quiet, steady draining. The baby stirred through the monitor, making that little whimper that meant he'd wake up soon. I wiped my face fast, even though I didn't remember crying. At 2:14 a.m., I did something I hadn't done in years. I checked Daniel's email. I knew the password. It was still the same dumb baseball reference he'd used since college. I almost hoped it wouldn't work. It did. I searched one word. Account. That's when I saw it. Not hidden. Not encrypted. Just there. Confirmation emails. New account setup. Linked to only his name. And one message from his brother. Smart moving money now. Once she realizes how expensive a kid is, she'll panic and go back to work early. My vision tunneled. I sat there, milk-stained shirt, postpartum body, 3 hours of sleep, reading a conversation about me like I was a temporary problem. And for the first time, I didn't feel hurt. I felt stupid. Because I had trusted him with everything. I didn't confront him the next morning. That's what the old version of me would have done. Crying in the kitchen, baby on my hip, demanding explanations while he sighed, and told me I was being emotional. Instead, I made coffee, fed the baby, let Daniel leave for work like nothing had changed. But something had. Around noon, my sister called. I almost didn't answer, but I needed to hear someone who knew me before I became someone's wife, someone's mother, someone asking for grocery money. You sound weird, she said immediately. I'm fine, I said automatically. She stayed quiet. She's older. She knows when I'm lying. Mallory, she said softly. What did he do? The words came out before I could stop them. The money, the comment, the knees, the email from his brother. She didn't interrupt once. Then she said something that made my stomach twist. You need to protect yourself. Not emotionally. Legally. I stared at the wall while the baby slept against my chest. That afternoon, I called our bank. Calm voice. Basic questions. Account access history. Authorized transfers. Documentation policies. Nothing illegal.
Not yet.
But strategic. At 4 p.m., Daniel texted, "Need you to grab diapers. I'll reimburse later." I stared at the message until my vision blurred. Reimburse? Like I was an employee. Something inside me finally locked into place. Not rage. Not revenge.
Clarity.
I typed back. Sure. Then I opened a new document on my laptop and started listing everything. Accounts.
Dates.
Comments. Screenshots. Because if Daniel wanted this marriage to be about power, then I was done pretending we were equals. That night, after Daniel fell asleep, I sat at the kitchen table with my laptop and a notebook like I was studying for an exam I couldn't afford to fail. I wasn't planning revenge. I was planning survival. I listed every shared expense from the last year. Mortgage portion, utilities, insurance, medical bills from delivery, the ones still partly unpaid. Then I listed every transfer he'd made out of the joint savings. The total difference made my stomach twist. Not just money, time, security, the safety net I thought we had while I was recovering and raising our son. At 1:30 a.m., I made the call I'd been avoiding. A family law office my coworker once recommended. The receptionist answered like it was any normal Tuesday. How can we help you? My throat tightened, but I said it anyway. I just need to understand my options. The consultation was scheduled for Thursday morning. Virtual. Quiet. Discreet. The next morning, Daniel acted normal. Kissed the baby's head. Asked if I could start dinner early, because he'd be home late. Like the grocery comment never happened. Like the money never moved. Like I hadn't spent the night realizing I might have built my life on something conditional. At lunch, I transferred the remaining joint savings into an account requiring both approvals to move funds. Legal.
Documented.
Transparent. At 3 p.m., Daniel texted, "Did you change the savings permissions?" I stared at the message. Pulse steady. Then I typed, "Yes. Just tracking things like you said we should." 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Then nothing. And that silence felt heavier than any argument. Daniel came home early that night. Not storming. Not slamming doors. Just quiet. Which was worse. He set his keys down carefully, like he was trying not to wake the baby or trying not to show how tense he was. "Why did you change the savings permissions?" he asked, standing in the kitchen doorway. I kept chopping carrots. "I told you. Tracking." "That's not tracking," he said. "That's locking me out." I put the knife down, slowly. "It requires both of us." "That's not a lock. That's shared." His jaw flexed. "You're overreacting." There it was. The script. I saw the transfers. I said. Not loud. Not accusing. Just factual. He froze. For 5 months, I added. Into an account only in your name. Silence stretched between us. Then he exhaled hard. I was protecting us. From what? I asked. From you staying home too long, he said, like it was obvious. From us falling behind. From you getting comfortable not working. The word stung more because part of me understood the fear, money stress is real. But secrecy? Planning it with his brother? That's not protection, I said. That's control. His eyes hardened. You wouldn't understand pressure right now. I almost laughed. Instead, I said, I have a consultation Thursday. His head snapped up. With who? A lawyer. The air changed. Completely. For the first time, Daniel looked uncertain. And I realized something important. He never thought I'd step outside the system he built. And now, I had. Daniel didn't yell. He just pulled out a chair and sat down across from me like we were negotiating a business deal. What do you want? He asked. The question hit me harder than if he'd argued. I want transparency, I said. And respect. I respect you, he said automatically. I just looked at him. He rubbed his face. Okay. I messed up not telling you about the account. Not telling me? I said quietly. Or planning it with your brother? His shoulders stiffened. So he knew I'd seen it. That was just talk, he said. I was stressed. I nodded slowly, like I was processing. Maybe I was. Maybe I was also realizing how small he'd made our marriage sound. I moved the savings permissions because I need security, I said. Especially right now. He leaned back, studying me like I was someone new. Maybe I was. You really talked to a lawyer? He asked. Yes. And what did they say? That I should document everything, I said honestly. And make sure I have access to money while I'm on leave. He nodded once. Slow. Calculating. Then he said something that surprised me. I didn't think you'd do that. Not angry. Not mocking. Just stunned. And for a second, I saw it clearly. He never thought I'd protect myself. He thought I'd just keep adjusting. The baby started crying upstairs. Neither of us moved right away. Then I stood up first. And as I walked past him, he said, very quietly, You're changing. I didn't turn around when I answered. No, I said. I'm just finally paying attention. Thursday morning, I sat in front of my laptop, hair still damp from a rushed shower, the baby finally asleep in his swing just off camera. The lawyer spoke calmly, asked precise questions, took notes when I described the transfers, the separate account, the grocery money comment. Nothing shocked her. That was almost the worst part. These situations usually escalate around major life changes, she said. New baby. Income shift. Power imbalance. Power imbalance. Not love problems. Not communication issues. Power. She didn't tell me to leave him. She didn't tell me to stay. She just explained what separation would look like. What financial protection would look like. What documentation already meant in my favor. When the call ended, I just sat there listening to my son breathe. That night, Daniel came home quieter than usual. I moved half the money back, he said, not looking at me. And I closed the other account. I nodded. Okay. I didn't realize how bad this looked, he added. I believed he believed that. But something inside me had already shifted permanently. 3 weeks later, we started counseling. 3 months later, I went back to work part-time, by choice, not pressure. 6 months later, we opened a new joint account with written agreements about transfers, transparency, and access. But here's the twist I never expected. I didn't stay because he fixed it. I stayed because I realized I didn't need him to feel secure anymore. And weirdly, that was the first time our marriage actually felt honest.